Hi, I'm Emma from Honeybuns Bakery here in Dorset. I hope you're all well. We're doing a really quick and easy recipe today, and it's an adaptation from our Honeybuns All Day Cookbook. It's made with fresh aubergine, and today I've converted the recipe from dairy to vegan, and so I hope you really enjoy it. What I've done is pre-roasted an aubergine. I'll show you exactly what I've done. So I pricked that all over with a fork, added a little bit of oil. To be fair, that's optional, you don't actually have to do that, you can just prick it all over and put it naked onto your baking tray, and then put it in a preheated oven at 180 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes. You just need to check it at 30 minutes that it's not catching too much and going black, but you'll see it does look rather unattractive. It collapses in on itself and goes super wrinkly. Then when it dips in the middle like so, and you can squidge it, don't burn your fingers obviously, that tells you that the flesh inside has collapsed in and gone really nice and soft, which is what we want. We want a scoopable, soft aubergine flesh inside. Then, if you cut your aubergine up lengthways and in half, like so, don't worry about the seeds. You can scoop them into the mix, it won't hurt at all. The only thing you're not going to use is the stalk and the skin. So you can see that's really easy to scoop out, and it's really deliciously soft and malleable. There you go, so that comes out reasonably cleanly. Like I say, try not to burn the skin, because if you do, you tend to get these really, it's a bit like having to try and pick off blackened skin off of char grilled peppers. It's a really fiddly job, so you don't want to have to do that. Okay, so that's that done pretty much. Then that can go straight in your compost bin. Then we're going to add, I've pre-measured, the magic ingredient I think is the 1/4 teaspoon of smoked sweet paprika. I've also pre-measured a 1/4 teaspoon of salt as well, that goes in there. The smoked sweet paprika, I've got a very lovely friend in the village who is married to a Spanish guy, and they bring me these back from when they visit home. But you can get this brand on Sous Chef online. We've mentioned Sous Chef before, we use their stuff a lot, I can highly recommend them. This is another one which you may find in delis who specialise in Spanish Iberian goodies, and you can also, there are loads of online sources, and you can also get it in the supermarket as well. There's a brand called Chiquita in a little red and yellow tin, which is also really good, but look for sweet and smoked, you need those two things. Then squeeze of half a lemon, clove of garlic. I use one of these. If you haven't got one of these, which I think they're magic, but if you haven't got one, just crush it with the back of a spoon. So that's 1 clove of garlic. And then I'm super lucky to have these. I'll just snip, these are fresh oregano leaves. If you haven't got them growing at home like we have, I'm going to snip, it's by eye really, I'm not very good at measuring, but I would estimate that that's what a dozen leaves, say, snipped in there, depending on what you like taste wise. You can also use dried and frozen. Then, this is amazing stuff, we're also helping to shout out other suppliers who we really like. Bay Tree do brilliant mayonnaises, preserves, lots of condiments, and they've brought out a new vegan range and we're loving it. The vegan mayonnaise is fab, really lovely, and it's not full of anything gunky and horrible, so all natural ingredients. So I'm going to put 2 generous dollopy tablespoons in there, and then if you'd like to follow me, Lottie, we're going to go into my little herb garden and get some mint. So we've got fresh mint growing, which we're really lucky. It grows like a weed, to be fair, so it's starting to spread onto the path and whatnot. So I'm going to just snip a few little top bits, because they're really fresh and young and super tasty. Give those a little bit of a rinse under the tap. I'm ready to snip those in as well. I'll leave I'll leave that nice bunchy bit so that we can maybe decorate in a minute. Now, I'll explain that I'm not using a standard ideal method here. I'm using a handheld electric mixer with a bowl. My preferred option would be to use a little mini food processor, which are excellent for this kind of job where you're only doing a dip to serve, say, 2 to 4 people. It's not enough to justify cranking up your big food processor, but I can't find my mini one, so hence I'm using this. So with that blending exercise, it is a lot easier if you use either a food processor, or you can use the electric mixer if you haven't got a food processor. Failing that, if you haven't got either of those, you can just mash up the aubergine first with a fork and then blend it all in. Depending on the texture that you want, I've gone for quite a rusticy dip here, leaving some of the chunky bits of aubergine intact. If you want a smoother puree style texture, then you just need to blend it in the food processor. It freezes brilliantly, it's gorgeous served with warm pittas. You can get gluten-free ones, or if you refer to our blogs, we've got lots of lovely gluten-free crackers on there and gluten-free breads, which will go brilliantly with the dip. I hope you enjoyed it. Any suggestions, let us know. I would love to see what you've been doing in the kitchen and whether you've got any tweaks to it. We'd really like to see those. And please do share if you like the video. Thanks ever so much. Bye.